This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Tuesday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, Sirius XM channel 158. Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidlin.
Hey, how we doing?
I'm doing well. Just got the pack working behind me. It's good.
I was going to say, he's going to do this whole show with two hands tied behind his back.
I'm good. I have a burning question right off the top of the show, but let me just tell you who's on the show today. Jake Hahn on the Stanley Cup playoffs, Drew Dinsick on some clay court tennis and some National Basketball Association playoffs, which, man, got into full swing. The conference semis last night we'll get into momentarily. Mark Borchard on Major League Baseball, Paul Carr on the Champions League. It's the number one champion sound. And then we'll do some props later. The NBA's semis, conference semis, that is. Or as we're listing it there on the sheet, the second round. If you prefer
good
to do
on
that.
you are calling it the accurate name.
Conference semis. That's what they
I'm being sloppy. I'm like second round.
That's all right. Sloppy as you are. Here's my burning question. CarShield, you're familiar with CarShield? Stephen A. Smith is we come in the studio. There's a CarShield commercial on. You're familiar with CarShield?
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith is now doing a CarShield commercial. How much is CarShield paying these people? Stephen A. makes what, $20 million a year, something like that, $18-20 million a year. I don't know exactly, somewhere in that ballpark. What must they be paying him to get him out of bed to do a CarShield commercial?
It's a great question. They also have an interesting roster of spokesmen. I would say spokespeople.
Yeah.
My favorite one is when Ice-T and Vivica A. Fox team up for theirs because it's like very dramatic. It's very dramatic.
I understand why Ice-T and Vivica A. Fox may do a CarShield commercial.
From the monetary standpoint, I completely agree.
Yeah.
It's a great question. I was surprised when I saw it myself a few weeks ago, but I think Stephen A. likes to say yes to things.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing. Let's talk about these bad. Wow, we have a tennis. I have two tennis matches for subscribers in the overnight. The first one was a winner, a plus 120 dog on Alexandra Oleynikova.
You gotta like when the font gets squeezed. Yeah, you gotta like. Then you're dealing with a real tennis player.
She beat Petra Marchenko in straight sets. Now I have Kamila Rakimova in the second match, so we're trying to get the 2-0 clean sheet as opposed to the wash. And they went to a third set. What are we doing? Oh, it started already. I was going to say if the third set hadn't started yet, I was going to say people jump on in if you want. But the third set has begun. It is on serve early in the third set. We'll see if we can't get the clean sheet. Let's go to basketball. Last night, conference semis begins. And those two games were not like each other. Let's put it that way. Firstly, the New York Knickerbockers, they win their third straight game by at least 29 points.
Whew.
What is going on?
Clearly, they're the most dominant team in the history of basketball, Gil. And if you are a Knicks fan, you should not be concerned whatsoever of this coming down at all. They will continue to play at this level and roll through the rest of the NBA playoffs.
He's being sarcastic, boys and girls. 137-98. They beat the Sixers. I want to thank Kelly Bidlin for telling me not to bet it early in the day and say, why don't you wait on this? It might get higher. It never did. I want to thank Carl Sack. As we had the discussion yesterday on the show, I'm like, well, I'm not going to take the Knicks, but I might. You might have talked me off this.
Yeah.
137-98, because I do remember. You know what it was? It was sort of a throwback to. I can remember Bob throwing out his numbers a lot for situational playoff basketball stuff. This was clearly one of these spots. If you believe in such things. First quarter, Knicks led by as many as 10-8 after the first quarter. Brunson scored the last 11 of the half for the Knicks, 27. Brunson had 27 at the half. Knicks led by 23 at the break, 74-51 on the strength of a 41-point second quarter. Third quarter, they led by as many as 34, by 31 after the third. And the fourth quarter, they led by as many as 40, and they won by 39. Brunson with 35 at the end. The Knicks shot 63.1% from the field. 63.1%. They were 53 of 84. By the way, they shot 51.4% from behind the arc, 19 of 37. So it's now 63.1% from the field. I'm always curious when I see a number like this that stands out. I'm like, well, just for context, what's the highest field goal percentage any team has had in an NBA game this year? Knicks shot 63.1% last night. Any idea?
If it wasn't it the Knicks the game before?
It was the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers had a game this year against the Hawks.
I thought you said playoffs. Sorry.
No, just the whole season. 67.1%. So this was about as amazing as it gets in terms of just your percentage from the field. Knicks crush. A one-off? Just a one-game thing in your opinion?
Okay, so, I mean, a couple things. I do think, from a betting conversation first over a basketball conversation, we often talk about rest disadvantages, and you pushed back a little bit on that yesterday. It's almost impossible to, put a hard number on what that means, right? This is...
For me, it wasn't a rest disadvantage. For me, it was just a mental disadvantage. Okay. It's like they came over, they slayed the dragon, and it just looked like they were like, we're good for it.
I was shocked at Max. He looked how exhausted he looked. Embiid was Embiid. He's grabbing something all the time. He's got an appendix hole or something that's bothering him throughout his body throughout these last.
Keeled over at one point.
I shouldn't joke about that. I have no idea what's going on. The man had something removed from his body surgically, and now he's grabbing his side in back-to-back games.
The stitches are gone, so it's not like it's going to pop open or anything.
Hopefully, thank you. I appreciate that. But it was. My point is, when we talk about that in handicapping games, you never think it's going to look as massive as that appeared last night. Wow. I mean, right? That was just almost from the jump. You got to halftime and you thought, okay, maybe this changes in the second half. No, it only got worse. I think that, yes.
Second half was unwatchable.
Second half was unwatchable. Yeah. And, with the terrible staggering of TV start times, that was kind of a good thing, I guess.
I agree. It ended up being a good thing.
It's incredible. Yeah. I think I don't want to say a complete one-off. This is a couple games in a row from New York. They've looked very impressive. I think this is, a very good Knicks team, as we've talked about. I think this is whoever wins this series is probably coming out of the East. But yes, I think to expect the Knicks to play at this level over and over again is too much to ask. And I think maybe the most notable thing is you didn't want... If the Sixers come back in the second half and lose that game by 1 point, way worse outcome than what happened last night because Joel Embiid at least got to rest a little bit. He only played 25 minutes in the game, right? It just became a total blowout where you're maybe worried about rest.
Good point.
With these games every other day, Joel got to rest a little bit.
Game 2 last night, much different.
Yeah.
Much more exciting. Spurs T-Wolves. Ant Edwards, after we were off the air yesterday, he was a go. An absolute
Shocking.
Go. Well, we knew already that he was a big participant in shoot-around, so we kind of had the directional indication that he would go, but it was official. He didn't start, but he came off the bench. Spurs led by 7 in the first quarter, 17-10, but immediately a 7-0 T-Wolves run out to end that. 24-23 T-Wolves at the end of the first quarter. Second quarter, T-Wolves led by as many as 6, 29-23, but a 12-0 Spurs run. Put them up 6, but then a 7-0 T-Wolves run. Gave Minnesota the lead right back, 36-35. It was 45-45 at the half. Third quarter, nip and tuck. Spurs led by only as many as 5, T-Wolves by 3. It was 72-69 Spurs at the end of 3. And then as the T-Wolves have done all playoffs here, they went crazy in the fourth. 84-81 Spurs. The T-Wolves go on a 14-2 run to go up 95-86, 9-point lead with 4:41 left in this game. Their biggest lead of the game to that point. It's 101-94 now, Minnesota, with under 2 minutes to go. Vassell misses a 3. What's my man's name? How do you pronounce my man's last name? Julian
Champagny.
About to say Champagny for a second, as we used to call champagne back in the day. Vassell misses a 3. Champagny with a follow-up, 101-96. Gobert fouled. He hits 1 of 2, 102-96. Wemby misses. Champagny board. Wemby misses again. Champagny off the turf for the board, gets off the floor, gets the board, put back 102-98 with 107 left. Then Randall with a great floating banker, 104-98. Wemby with a drive and jam, not to be denied. It's still 104-100 with 44 seconds left. And then Ant is pinned on the sideline. Vassell steals it in the same way that Draymond stole that ball in the play-in game, right on the sideline right there, sort of with the back of his hand, ahead to Dylan Harper, and all of a sudden it's 104-102 with 31 seconds left. No timeouts being called. Randall, no good. Harper rebound with 6 seconds left. Still no timeouts being called. Pushes it ahead to Champagny. Gets a look from 3 to win it. No good. Ball game, 104-102 Minnesota. They were up 9 like a blink of an eye ago. Had to withstand that final shot. Ant was killing himself afterwards. Like, gave him 2 rebounds. Got the ball stolen from me. Randall, 21-10 in victory. Edwards, 18 off the bench on 8 of 13 shooting. Harper led the way for the Spurs with 18. Wemby, though, 11 points, 15 boards, and 12 blocks. But the T-Wolves take the 1-0 lead in the best-of-7 series against the Spurs. They've done their job, let's put it that way, in the first 2 games. As far as the Killer Sports contest was concerned, Kelly, this was still sitting at the static Minnesota plus 13.5, so this was a free bingo square for those of us who decided to choose it last night. Yeah. What's wrong? You didn't play it?
I think the hour cutoff was a bit more than an hour. That's what I ran into last night.
What do you mean?
I tried to get in. I couldn't get in. It locked up games from over an hour out.
Oh, I don't think that's true. I just put it in just after an hour. I mean, just before an hour.
It was, I got locked out. Good for you, though.
Kelly is screaming that there's a foul going on here.
It's shenanigans. I'm calling shenanigans on that last night.
Okay.
But look, the game itself, I think is this the first sign of lack of experience showing up for San Antonio? I don't know. I mean, I'm openly asking. It is
Minnesota's just good.
They're good. I'm really interested to see what we get going forward. I think you could bet that series price, like that Champagny 3 goes in. We're staring at what, like minus 1,100 today? Minus 175 over at MGM right now. I think the Spurs are still the better side. More
as low
depth.
as minus 175.
As low as minus 175. I considered it. I laid 9 in game 2 instead. I think we see a strong bounce back from Wemby and the Spurs unit.
I do too. Haven't bet it, but I do too. Don't expect that to happen again anyway. But good on the T-Wolves, man. Good basketball team, period.
Physical with Wemby. That mattered last night.
Coming back, more NBA on the other side. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
Coming up on Tuesday's episode of Money Moves, Adam Burke, managing editor of VSiN.com, is going to be in studio with us as we discuss the Major League Baseball season as a whole. He's got some best bets. And this player, he's setting up to win an award, but should he actually be priced where he is? We'll tell you why. Minnesota-Colorado Game 2, great angle on the under. We'll discuss where you can play that, how you can play it. And in the NBA, Cleveland-Detroit gets started. Love this series play. We'll tell you what it is. It's coming up, Money Moves, Tuesday, 11-1 Pacific, 2 to 4 Eastern.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
VSiN.com has everything you need to bet smarter. Right now at VSiN.com, Greg Peterson's MLB best bets, Zach Cohen's NBA best bets, Steve Makinen's second round NBA trends. And coming later today, Jonathan Davis's best NHL plays and props, Wes Reynolds' truest championship preview, and the Go Bowling at the Glen first simulation. You're familiar with that, Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
The Go Bowling at the Glen simulation.
Great NASCAR race?
Yeah, man. Right now, get 14 months of Visa Pro for only $199 with promo code PRO. That's PRO. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe today. Check it out. Numbers, guys. Love the show. I would never complain, but your picks don't often show up for me under tennis the way that Zach's do. Is it just me? Hey, wait a minute. Is that true? On the website?
No.
Bill 80, white glove service. Supposed to be there. I think they're there. Check check tennis, check my name, check all of it. It can be a little janky.
There's an easy solution to this. We just have Zach Cohen take over entering your picks.
That's right. We could do that. Or we could do
Zach
that.
is somewhere yelling at me.
No, imagine Bill is super cool for doing it for me. Right?
No, he is. Yeah. He's awesome.
Could do that. This is from No Emu Doug. Is Minnesota real? Are they the 2021 Hawks this year? They're real good. That's for sure. I still don't think they're beating the Spurs, but they're definitely real good.
Ooh, interesting question, because what are we when we're comparing to the 2021 Hawks, just of how far they got, I guess, they're a better team. Like, they're a better team than that Hawks team.
I can't even...
But, like, the hurdles that are in front of them are steeper than what Atlanta had.
What did Atlanta... I can't even remember what Atlanta had.
I don't know, but I'm going to say that without even remembering off the top of my head, Gil. The Knicks were one of them, right? The Knicks were one of them.
So this was the year the Hawks. This was the year that the Bucks beat the Suns in the NBA Finals. Mm-hmm. The year after the pandemic, the Hawks beat the Knicks. The Hawks were the 5 seed that year. They beat the 4 seed Knicks. Then they beat the 1 seed Sixers in a 7-game series before losing to the Bucks.
Yeah.
In the Eastern Conference Final.
Yeah, I'll still say that. Timberwolves, this is a better team, but in a tougher task in front of them with the Spurs and Thunder on the horizon.
What about tonight? Game 1s of the other 2 series. The Pistons, 3-point favorites, hosting the Cavaliers. Saw some 3.5s this morning.
Yeah.
3.5 on the Pistons. Total 216. And then OKC, more than a 2-touchdown favorite in their first game tonight out west against the Lakers. The Luka-less Lakers. Let's start with the Pistons and the Cavs in Detroit.
Fascinating matchup. I am on the Cavs small to win in 6 and 7. That's how I played it. I didn't go heavy in on the Cavs to win the series. I'm not super confident with this. I think it's going to be a very interesting series, and I'm fascinated to watch game 1 here because I think there's a lot of things that Cleveland struggled with last series against Toronto. That, guess what, Gil? Detroit does a whole lot better as far as forcing turnovers. It's not like it points off of turnovers. If Harden and this team is going to be turning the ball over like they did against Toronto, Detroit is going to feast off of that. I think Cleveland did find some things at the end of that series. I was yelling about it all series long about them getting beat on the glass, and that should never happen. Jared Allen finally stepping up in that last game. We saw Jalen Duren step up, though, later in this series for Detroit, too. I think the battle of the rebounding is going to be extremely important for who wins this series. But I think it's an interesting matchup when you're talking about a Cavaliers team who you should be able to trust in this offense. The defense has some question marks. And then Detroit, I think it's the complete opposite, right? You have a lot of trust in this defense. Who's going to help out Cade offensively? But it matters so much in the playoffs that you do have that one go-to guy to go to in Cade Cunningham. So I kind of lean Pistons here, game 1. I think that this Cavs, not going to get any easier going from Toronto. If Donovan Mitchell struggled all series against the Toronto Raptors, meet my friend Asar Thompson that you're going to have to go up against for 7 games or however long this takes. That's going to be a tough matchup to get used to. I think it could take some adjustment time for Cleveland. But I think this goes 6 or 7 games either way. I lean Cleveland overall just because I think the depth is in their favor and just overall talent is in their favor.
Heard Nick Whalen on with Jensen and Dave this morning on By the Books. He liked Cleveland too. He leaned Cleveland or likes Cleveland. Feels like a lot of one-way traffic on Cleveland from the Hardos. Just again, brief anecdotal take-in of information. And again, it's curious to me.
This is this Detroit team that gave us problems, us hardos problems all season long. You know, so it's
plus again, because somebody tweeted yesterday. Also, it's like, hey, you know, they beat the Magic without Wagner. I think the Magic are better than the Raptors, and that's who the Cavs beat. And the Cavs struggle to beat them also. So I don't get that kind of line of thinking either. And it's funny, who was it on Twitter? Oh yeah, the guy who knows it all. He was saying, "Oh, Gilly, you said that you have an advantage because you don't have these hardo opinions. Well, I didn't see in your picks that you consistently faded these. Yeah, but others took them. Mm. There's nothing better than people who think they're smarter than they are, and they just the combination of arrogance and dumb. They have no idea what they're saying. Vegas chump, I'm talking about you. It's incredible to me. So yes, so I'll be happy to let people run into a wall on Cleveland on this as well. That's my whole strategy there, because I don't have a tremendous conviction on the Pistons either.
Yeah,
but I'm happy to stay away.
I think this game one's going to be very interesting to see tonight. I have a feeling I will have much stronger opinion after game one tonight, whether that's right or wrong.
Yeah.
Than I do right now about this series. I think it's long though. I think both series in the East go long. I still think that about.
But I agree with you in the sense that I'm not sure whoever wins this series, I'm not sure they beat whoever wins the other series.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But you know what? Fluid situation. But I don't feel that way at this point. As far as the other one, OKC is a 16.5 point favorite. Is that what the number is right now against the Lakers?
Is that what
Let's call it 15.5. I overshot. 15.5.
There's some 16s out there. Don't worry.
214 is the total. Give me the case where the Lakers can compete in this game.
Oh, that is a great question.
What has to happen? Forget win. What has to happen for them to compete?
Okay, no Jalen Williams. I love this question. No Jalen Williams in this game for Oklahoma City. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The refs come in determined that they are going to blow a tight whistle on the Oklahoma City Thunder, who teams have been complaining about all year, swiping at everything. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets in early foul trouble. LeBron James has a throwback LeBron game like we saw a couple times against the Rockets. I don't want to take anything away from LeBron. And it's something like that. But the Thunder are going to have to shoot themselves in the foot somehow. That's what I believe. I think they just
would have to have such a miserable game from the field. They would just have to miss. Just have a night where they
have
miss
a terrible
everything.
Shooting night. Absolutely terrible shooting night. This series though, I will tell you, there is a part of me inside that is really, really rooting for the Lakers one of these first two games to steal it, because I want to see what this series looks like. Late, if Luka comes back, if and when he comes back, and if the Lakers, let's say they steal game one or two on the road, and if you think Luka's coming back game 3, game 4, this series gets interesting real quick. Oklahoma City's so strong. I think most likely outcome is OKC in 5 to me. Gentleman sweep over the Lakers. But Lakers can steal one of these games early, get Luka back. This series gets a whole lot more interesting. It would be. I've got absolutely nothing in this one tonight, though.
Luka ruled out for the first 2 games of this series. That much we seem to know. Of course, we thought similar things about Ant. But with the hamstring here, we believe he's out for the first 2 games. At least that's what the Lakers are going with. Though Luka on the gram posting pictures of him lifting weights. Mm-hmm. People reading into that.
Just a reminder, we talked about this yesterday. 117-point differential between these two teams in the 4 games they played in the regular season.
117?
OKC plus 117.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just shy of 30 points per game, in other words.
Dominant.
That's just ridiculous. By the way, JJ Redick, when asked about, he preempted any questions about Luka. He says, "I don't have any updates on Luka." So that doesn't sound very.
Do you want
optimistic.
You want the full game scores? I have them in front of me too, because it's like more balanced, so it makes it even grosser than you expect. November 12th, Thunder 121-92. February 9th, OKC 119-110, 9-point win. April 2nd, OKC 139-96. April 7th, OKC 123-87. Just 3 absolute butt whoopings.
29-9. And what were the last 2? Give it the last 2 scores.
139-96.
All right, that's 43.
123-87.
36. Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad. It's bad.
Well, there was the 9-point game.
Let's play the game we played yesterday. If you had to take a side and you had to take a piece of the total, where would you go?
I would take the Thunder side based on what we just talked about.
Me too. And then I would take the under, which doesn't make any sense. That's where I would lead with both.
But think about what we're saying. Like, what's the most prudent play? Laying all those points with the Thunder.
Points.
Think how like square bear that is.
Oh,
yet in this day and age of the NBA and with these teams, and with the Lakers being, hamstrung, if you will, no pun intended, although it was a pun.
That's a good question, though. Is it actually is it a square bear play to lay 15.5 points? I don't know that the square bears like to lay 15 points. It's a lot of points.
You understand the point, though.
No, I do.
It's like we've gotten to that point. What percentage of these NBA games in the playoffs have been unwatchable based on blowouts?
I know.
Got to be about 50% of them.
Yeah. Lakers, I hope you steal one of these first two, man. That'd be awesome.
That's your doubleheader in the NBA tonight. We got one game in the NHL. We'll talk NHL Stanley Cup playoffs with Jake Hahn next.
The guarantee? I hear it's massive.
They wouldn't do this unless it was something big.
There is no way it's that high.
I think it's even bigger.
It's huge. What? It's huge. Oh.
I'm down here at Circa, and I heard it's going to be gigantic. It's the biggest contest we've ever seen.
But seriously, what's the guarantee?
All right, guys. You're going to have to wait and see. The biggest pro football contests in the world are back. Visit circusports.com for more information.
Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
A Numbers Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on A Numbers Game, live from Circle Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidlin.
Yeah.
We get tweets beating the book. This is from... Where did I leave off? Oh, Sycon says, I was going to ask the exact same thing about not seeing your picks. Only reason I subscribe. Okay, well, was this a one-day thing, or was this like last week we were killing it also?
I feel like
this is a one-day thing. So maybe Bill just forgot to put it on there. I'm sorry, guys. By the way, it appears like you're not going to miss anything. It appears like it's going to be a wash.
Bill was at the VGK game last night, right?
We're down a break. Oh, was he at the VGK game?
Yeah, give him a break.
Yeah.
He had a busy evening, okay?
Put in my tennis picks when he's at a hockey game. Larry Fresh, second half of the Knicks game was so unwatchable. They spent time talking about Josh Hart messing with Jimmy Fallon's shoelace. I figure that's better than...
Oh, my gosh.
I can't read the rest of this.
All right, wait, hold on. I'm glad that was brought up, though. It took me way too long to figure this out.
Yeah.
The NBC crossoverness. I was wondering why I've seen some other NBC people brought up on broadcast before, specifically at Madison Square Garden. It finally took to that moment last night where I was like, the synergy, Gil, the synergy.
Mm-hmm. Hobbs awaiting Jake Hahn's appearance. Jake standing by goes, Jake is the man. Very short and sweet. He is. We'll talk to Jake here momentarily. Hoops by Hoots. I agree. I did not see your picks for tennis anywhere on the site. Sorry, guys. I think it was just a one-night thing. Brian Point Schaefer. Too soon, guys. You had to open that wound up with the Hawks beating the number 1 seeded Sixers that year. That was the year that Ben Simmons had that open look dunk and passed it. That's right. That dunk would have put the game away. Do you remember that? That was one of the more... You're so right, by the way, Brian Schaefer. Like, that's the one moment we all remember.
Also, that feels like 10 years ago at this point.
Sure. Yeah, the pandemic has me so... I know this was after the pandemic.
Like Ben Simmons?
Pandemic has me so messed up in terms of time perspective. PK Mountain Steel. I'm not sure what this is about. He says, oh, Gil, you can't win if you don't play. We all have to keep the lights on, and scaffolding is actually the height of industrial chic. I'm not sure what he's talking about. James Sott. I can confirm that I didn't see your picks on the picks page. Can also confirm the Cavs are soft and you can't trust them. Kelly Bidlin tweets in as well. Jake is the blanking man.
That's right. It was adding to that the man Bart tweet.
Yeah. And then Bruce Dobing, and regarding layoff slumber, Pistons had a full week off while the Magic played 3 win-or-else games. Took Detroit 5 games to catch up. So, yes, competitive edge is a real thing, he says. Let's talk some hockey, shall we?
Let's do it.
So much basketball. Let's talk some hockey. Jake Hahn joins us now, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him on Twitter at jhahn4. That's H-A-H-N. Jake, of course, the co-host of The Point and the Fantasy Hockey Show on SiriusXM NHL, co-host of NHL Fantasy on Ice podcast as well at NHL Fantasy. Jake, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. I like all the tweets today. I especially like Hobbs and Kelly's tweets. Those were the top tweets that you read, although there were some other good ones in there as well. Only thing I know from basketball last night is that Timothy Chalamet picked the Knicks game over the Met Gala. So another thing that me and Timothy Chalamet have in common. It's a long list now of things we have in common, picking sports over our girlfriends or wives or whatever it might be. So he gained a couple more points in my books last night.
Such a great call. His girlfriend did go to the Met Gala, by the way. She went.
She did.
She had what was being referred to as a nude dress. It was not nude, but it was the coloring makes it seem that way.
I'll get to the bottom of it.
It's my Met Gala analysis for you as well. What was it specifically about those 2 tweets that you loved? No, don't ask that question.
Wait, did you guys catch the Timothy Chalamet man-spreading situation from the other game in the last round with Tina Fey?
He was
boxing her out. He was encroaching. Yes.
Oh, that's not good. Never
it's
like
a big thing online.
The encroacher on an airplane. Not fun.
And there was there were some pictures to back it up. Yeah, dial it back, Chalamet.
Come on, Chalamet. Know your space. Stay in your lane. All right, Jake. Let me just let's start from the beginning here. Are the correct 8 teams in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs? Do you believe that these are the 8 teams that deserve to be here?
It's a good question. Always a good question to ask because so obviously a lot of years, Gil, you might get one or even multiple teams that just sort of sneak through, maybe get a little bit lucky. I think if you're maybe looking at one, it might be Montreal in that series against Tampa Bay, but it's so hard to call that team lucky. They've been really solid all season long. I think it's really just game 7 of Montreal-Tampa that stands out in a lot of people's minds, where they only had 9 shots on goal. They set a record for fewest shots on goal to win a playoff game, and it was in a game 7. So just a frustrating loss for Tampa, but Montreal led more of that series than the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I can't call them lucky. Tampa just never really got it in that series, and Montreal got great goaltending. And you have a great goaltender this time of the year, and Dobish just playing well. You deserve to be in the second round. So I really can't look at a team here and say that they don't deserve to be here. Anaheim is maybe a bit of a surprise, but they took it to the Oilers in most of the games in that series, particularly the games in. Now, we haven't had a chance to see that between them and Vegas shift to the pond yet, but they got some great energy from that home crowd. Haven't been in the playoffs for a long time. So to answer your question, Gil, I would say yes, we probably do have the best 8 teams from the first round advancing into the second round here.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about the Montreal call, but hey, great goaltending is a tried and true staple of the Stanley Cup playoffs for sure. This segues into the next question in tonight's game. We have a standalone today between the Wild and the Avalanche, game 2 of that series, with the Lanch up 1-0 after their 9-6 win in game 1. Let me just ask you about the Hurricanes, who won last night, and the Avalanche together before we get into the specific game with the Avalanche and the Wild today, which is the next question is, I mentioned this yesterday. So the longest streak of wins from the beginning of a Stanley Cup playoffs in deep into the playoffs is 9 in a row to start. The 1985 Edmonton Oilers of Gretzky and Coffey and Messier and Anderson, Grant Fuhr in goal. That team won 9 in a row to start the 85 playoffs on their way to the Stanley Cup. The Hurricanes are now, after they were down 2-0 to the Flyers last night, they come back, they win it in overtime. They won their first 6 now. And now the Avalanche are trying to win their first 6 with a game tonight at home. That would be 6 in a row for them. Those two teams in general, do you feel like we could get one of them to 9? Will we get that? And then how do you feel about tonight's game?
I honestly wouldn't be surprised with Carolina getting there now because of what we saw last night. Gil, you mentioned it. You know, Flyers get that 2-0 lead. That's exactly what the Flyers needed last night. Carolina had not trailed in a game all playoffs long. It had just been so easy for them. So they hadn't even really gotten punched in the mouth yet. And Philly comes out, does so. Carolina responds. They come back. They still win the game. That felt like Philly's moment. Now that series does shift to Philadelphia, where they should get some great energy from that home crowd. So I could possibly see a sweep there. I'm still going to give the Flyers and Dan Vladar a game and probably see Carolina winning that in 5. But ultimately, just looking at these two teams, Gil, and I hate to say it because I'm always looking for value. I'm always looking for dogs. It really does feel like we're heading on a collision course for these two teams to play in a cup final. Now, the one I could see maybe getting tripped up is Carolina in a conference final. I think the winner of Buffalo and Montreal will put up a pretty solid fight in that potential conference final series. I think this is Colorado's toughest opponent that they're going to face. And if they find a way to sort of breeze through Minnesota in 5, maybe 6 games, I don't see the Pacific Division winner offering too much resistance to what this Colorado Avalanche team can do. And the Avs catch a bit of a break here. The Minnesota Wild, who you guys know I loved in that series against the Dallas Stars, they kind of limp in. They're already down the middle of the ice at the center ice position. Colorado had the edge, and Minnesota's down their number 1 center in Joel Eriksson Ek. He missed the first game. He's going to miss tonight's game as well. That they're already fighting an uphill battle against this team. That's one player they cannot afford to miss. So I could see this being a Colorado. I'm still gonna give Minnesota a game, heck, maybe even 2 games if they can get the goaltending. But I see Colorado and I see Carolina both advancing.
Any play on tonight's game between the Avalanche and the Wild?
So a couple props I want to look at here, guys. I mentioned Joel Eriksson Ek with the Minnesota Wild, so that does offer up a opportunity. We just saw a wild game. You mentioned it, Gil. 9-6 was the final in game 1, and it was just a high event game. Look at the shot totals. It's not something you see very often in the NHL, certainly in the playoffs. Ryan Hartman is getting that first line center role right now with Joel Eriksson Ek out, which means he's playing with Matt Zuccarello and Kirill Kaprizov, 2 guys that can free up a lot of space. And Hartman, if he gets the minutes, has been a guy that's never afraid to shoot the puck. He had 7 shots on goal in that first game. He's plus money for 3 tonight against Colorado. I'd expect that to continue at that same spot in the lineup. You could even maybe flirt with going 4 or 5 if you want to ladder it up a little bit and sprinkle on those to see if he has another game similar to game 1. I'd look at the save prop for Colorado's goaltender, assuming it's going to be Scott Wedgwood tonight. It's sitting around over 24.5. I do think Minnesota is going to fire some rubber over Colorado's way, and he seems to be up to the task. And maybe Gil, a contrarian play on the under in this game after such a crazy game one. I'd wait till closer to puck drop to see where this gets. I think we want to bet the over here after what we saw in game one. If it's getting up close to 7, I'd see some value on the under here. So that's a wait and see one for me, because I do think that these teams will want to tighten it up a little bit after a pretty messy, sloppy game one.
Real quick, 30 seconds before the break. The other game last night, the Golden Knights beat the Ducks in game one of that best of 7 series. The Anaheim Ducks, they tied it up late, but then Vegas comes right back and gets the go-ahead goal. They end up with an empty netter to make it a 3-1 final. Should that have been icing on the go-ahead goal, in your opinion, Jake?
It's a judgment call by the official on the ice, but for me, I say yes. I do think that it should have been icing, and I thought Anaheim caught a bit of a raw deal on that one. You saw how ticked off Coach Quenneville was behind the bench. He was not happy about that one at all.
Angry.
But the judgment call, he made his call in the moment. It's sort of a bang-bang play, so you kind of have to live with it if you're Anaheim and keep playing.
I don't know how Golden Knights are doing this. I don't know how they got by the Mammoth. I don't know how up 1-0 here. We'll ask Jake if they have any shot if they have to play the Avalanche. And Conn Smythe thoughts next.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Your favorite VSiN shows and personalities are now available to download as podcasts. Catch every hour of our live broadcast with VSiN Best Bets, or find your go-to show and download it directly. Get instant reactions to last night's games, sharp analysis on today's biggest matchups, and everything in between. Whether you're commuting, working out, or just catching up, VSiN lets you take the action with you wherever and whenever you want. Search VSiN on your favorite podcast platform and get in on the action with VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on A Numbers Game, live from Circle Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Gil Alexander. Producer number 9, so much more than a producer, Kelly Baidalan.
Hey-ho.
Hey-ho.
Starting a fantasy hockey league for the rest of the playoffs. If you want to join, Gil, okay? Like my first draft pick, Scott Wedgwood.
You just names you're discovering?
Yeah, discovering. Yeah, right now, yeah.
Michael Kettler, thank you for this, Michael. He says, first-time tweeter. The tennis plays are not posted, but believe it is a one-day occurrence. Love the show. Cheers. Thank you, Michael. Michael Kettler, the voice of reason. Coming down from the rafters. PK Mountain Steel he doesn't I don't know if he's got about 4 tweets here, but he's amazed that I'm staying away from the Cavs Pistons. I think that's the takeaway. Judd O'Connor, Tim's girlfriend wearing a nude dress. Kelly then says, I'll get to the bottom of it. No stone left unturned during this 3-hour window. We cover it all here.
You know what I was a little sad about yesterday? We didn't get more reaction to our hard-hitting. I mean, look, I know the audience have gotten used to Brian Ortega with his hard-hitting movie breakdowns. I thought you and I did a fantastic job yesterday in the final segment.
Of?
Breaking down movies, the ones that people should see.
Oh, yes. Yes, we did.
There's very little reaction to that.
Our most childish segment ever.
You should have a good time.
You should really go see Charlie's Angels. You should really rent the Charlie's Angels box set.
We didn't bring that one up.
Yeah. Jesse Welch, fellas, we have a super cheap 6.5 total in the Wild Avalanche game tonight. Call me simple, but my hockey betting this season has been about 90% Minnesota Wild overs, and I'm going right back to it. So Jesse, on the other side of Jake's thoughts on that. Jake going contrarian. Manny Davison. We got an explanation on MLB sponsoring PGA guys. What's up with bowling sponsoring the NHL playoffs? Who's funding this? Oh, I didn't even notice.
What? I'm getting to the bottom
that's even weirder than Stephen A. doing a what's it called? Car
Shield.
Car Shield commercial. Seriously, how much is Car Shield paying? Ladies and gentlemen, Jake Hahn, kind enough to join us for a second segment, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. Again, JHahn4 is where you can follow him on Twitter. He comes to us from Toronto, Canada. The T-Dot, the 6. That's all I got. I'll stop. Okay. Let me.
I want more movie reviews, guys. I want the movie takes from you guys. So maybe deeper into the playoffs. We'll when there's a little bit more time, right?
Can I tell you how excited I am to see Michael? Like people don't. If you're of a certain age, Jake, this is just us talking here. Like these kids don't understand how big Michael Jackson was, and how when I was obsessed with this guy. Was obsessed. I speak for millions of Americans. I cannot wait to see this movie.
We're both so excited, Jake. We haven't gone yet.
Oh, my God.
And it's been out for like a week and a half.
Right. I haven't seen it yet either. It's funny. My 18-year-old nephew saw it before I did. Him and his buddies went to see it. And I'm like, what are you up to tonight? He's like, yeah, I'm going to the movies. Oh, what are you seeing? He's like, yeah, me and the boys are going to see the Michael movie. I thought, really? I didn't take 18-year-old kids for going to do that. And he said he liked it. He said it was a good time. He said it was very informative for somebody that didn't really live through that era.
Oh.
Good for your nephew. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that either. But an 18-year-old going to a Michael Jackson movie? Yeah, like he had no idea who Michael Jackson is, probably. Barely.
For those of us who are who were big fans, you know how everybody remembers where they were when JFK was assassinated of a certain generation. Like the night that he did the moonwalk on Motown 25. Like this was just like a seminal moment of our childhood. That's how I can't exaggerate it enough. All right, back to hockey for a second. I left by talking about the Golden Knights. Golden Knights, it's amazing that they're here. They've won multiple games now that perhaps they shouldn't have, but somehow figured out a way to win in this short playoffs thus far. And here we are, they're up one game. Let's say they meet the Avalanche, just to project forward. I know we're way projecting because there's only one game in. Do they have any shot against the Avalanche, in your opinion? And then if we talk about the East, and we haven't touched on this series yet, but Buffalo and Montreal, which has yet to start, so we're going to have 2 series that are 2 games in before Buffalo and Montreal even start with their series. Does the winner of that series have any shot against Carolina, in your opinion?
I think the winner of Buffalo and Montreal has a much better shot against Carolina than the winner of Vegas and Anaheim versus Colorado. That's how I would look at it. I just felt like the East all year has been fairly wide open with a lot of really good teams. And that Atlantic division, which is the side that Buffalo and Montreal would be coming through, is a really, really strong division. It has been for years. Now we're seeing some different teams this year than maybe previous years where we've had teams like the Florida Panthers and the Toronto Maple Leafs involved. So there has been maybe new blood in there in the Atlantic, but they're still very, very strong teams. I would give either of those teams a very good chance against Carolina and maybe expose some things with the Canes that we haven't seen exposed yet, that the teams that they've faced yet haven't been able to do so. Obviously, we still have to get there, but I do assume Carolina is going to get through Philly. This is as close of a series as you're going to get between Buffalo and Montreal. It's a very tricky one to pick, but I would give one of them a very legit shot in that conference final. Whereas I look at that Pacific versus the Central, I've been pretty steadfast all year, Gil, in saying that whoever makes it out of the Central Division is going to make the Stanley Cup final. And I haven't seen enough from Vegas yet to change my mind on that. They're finding ways to win games. Carter Hart has stabilized the goaltending a little bit. I think he's been average to above average, which has been good enough for them to win these games. But they just look too slow to me to go up against a team like the Colorado Avalanche. Even Anaheim was exposing that a little bit last night. I thought the Ducks were the better team for large chunks of that game, ultimately came out on the losing end. So I would assume Colorado, maybe Minnesota, if they could pull off the crazy upset here in round number 2, they would be headed to the Cup final for me.
Sabres, Canadiens, what's your hunch on that series? Where do you lean?
This is so tough, and obviously you see the price there, -110 for both sides. I would agree with that pricing. I would basically say, shrug my shoulders and go, you guys pick, you guys figure it out. I think it's good. I think you're going to see ebbs and flows to this series. It's going to be a great one to watch, the energies in both buildings. KeyBank Center for the Buffalo Sabres, obviously not having a playoff game for a very long time, now getting to win a round of playoff hockey, and the Bell Center in Montreal is as good as it gets. I'm very curious to see how many Habs fans can infiltrate the Sabres arena here, because they do a good job of that. They do it in Toronto, they do it in Buffalo, but Buffalo is really good now and everybody wants to go to the games in Buffalo, so those tickets might not be as available. I'm very curious what those games in Buffalo do look like. I'm going to lean towards Montreal here, guys. I don't see enough value on the pre-series price. I think you could be able to jump in at a better price as the series goes on. There's just something special about this Habs team, and they just find ways to win games. I love how Dobish is playing between the pipes, so I am going to lean Montreal, but not a strong take on this one. I think it's going to be very, very tight. I could see it going 7 games.
It's great. We're just excited, Kelly and I, to see non-clashing hockey sweaters, some classic hockey sweaters, as opposed to the Ducks and the Avalanche and the Golden Knights. Good God, with these color patterns. And again, Canadians.
This is much better goalie, or sorry, a much better jersey battle here. And I hope Buffalo wears the black goat head jerseys at some point in this series as well.
You said you like those a lot as well. Yeah, those are.
I do. It's I feel like some people are on the other side of it, but I like the black goat heads.
Sabres had not been to the postseason since 2011. Canadiens trying to be the first Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup since 1993, when the Montreal Canadiens did it. Okay, to the question of the Conn Smythe Trophy. Now, I say this not for Kelly, but for everybody else, because Kelly knows this.
Obviously.
That the Conn Smythe Trophy is awarded annually to the most valuable player during the entirety of the National Hockey League Stanley Cup playoffs. You knew that. Nathan MacKinnon, usual suspect, is the short shot at +475. Then you have a couple of Hurricanes there. Frederik Andersen and Logan Stankoven right there, plus 7-1 and 8+850. Cale Makar then of the Avalanche at 9-1. Everybody else is double digits. Jack Eichel is the shortest among the Vegas Golden Knights. He and Mitch Marner. What's the bet here, sir?
Well, you can definitely see how the Habs got to the second round, judging by the fact that the only name you see on that board is a goaltender in Jakub Dobish. So if you're looking at Montreal, you probably are looking at him. Look, I know I said I lean Habs in that series, but I could certainly see Buffalo winning it. I wouldn't be shocked. And then if that's the case, I could see them giving Carolina a pretty good series in the conference final. Alex Tuch is way down at 50-1. He was 100-1 before the postseason started, and he was somebody I really liked the little sprinkle on. Number's been cut in half. I still think a very fair number if you want to get in on the Buffalo Sabres. But if we're looking at the top teams, guys, if we do assume it's going to be Carolina and Colorado and you want some value on those teams, I think I would look down the board on the Carolina numbers. Stankoven, Frederik Andersen, very deserving for where they've been. Stankoven's been carrying that team, that whole second line, and Frederik Andersen's been really good between the pipes. But I would look down to a Seth Jarvis there at 35-1, who hasn't had a huge impact yet on this series, did score a big goal last night. He had a couple couple assists in round one. That first line is going to have to show up at some point for Carolina. They only have 6 wins of a possible 12 needed to win this whole thing, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. Or sorry, 16, 6 of a possible 16 wins. So they still have a long way to go before they could win the Stanley Cup. I do think at some point Seth Jarvis is going to have to show up, and a little bit of a dip on that number where we have a lot of games to go for Carolina's. Jarvis at 35-1, Alex Tuch at 50-1 would be a couple I would sprinkle on right now.
Kelly, no love for your guy Scott Wedgwood.
No, I mean I love him, but
I don't mind it.
Yeah,
Jake doesn't. His family invented golf.
You don't mind it. Okay. By the way,
rumor has it, yes.
Last Conn Smythe Trophy winner from a losing team, of course, Connor McDavid with the Oilers in 2024.